Welcome to 23 Degrees Sideways, Coyote in the Highlands. We've got just enough wind this morning that I'm in the temper tent, which is holding up pretty well. The just a little bit too much for me to do anything outside. It's very gusty. So there's a thing about student loan debt forgiveness. And I think this is a program. Again, so most of the responses, you know, this is being brought out as a hugely contentious issue, but it's being framed as a hugely contentious issue. I don't think this is an organic issue. I don't think this is a grassroots issue. I think this is really literally being framed as a major source of contention, as a culture war issue, if you want to use the culture war phrase. So the big people are, we deserve school. School should be free for everybody, blah, blah, blah. By which they mean them, and by school they mean specific ideological training. So there's that side of it. There's the other side of it where people are so emotionally, they're being told to be so emotionally invested in the punishment or consequences of others. You took this on, it's your fault, you need to do this, it will hurt me if you get a free ride. Well, it's not going to hurt you if someone else gets a free ride. That's silly. Yes, it's taxpayer money, whatever. At this point, it's not going to change your tax rate. It's just something they're going to either use budget money or deficit money for. So that's a wash. Be realistic. They're not going to charge you an extra $25 a week to pay for other people's college tuition. Student loans. Because it's not about tuition. Student loans are a big, huge racket for having a certain lifestyle during college and university. And the whole thing is being used by universities and university administrations as a cash cow. Much better paychecks for the administrators, much growth of administrative agencies in the universities. It's not about delivering better classes. It's not about getting people who can't afford it into a school. It's cash cow, and it grows the bureaucratic side, administrative side of the universities. That's a separate issue, but we know that it's an issue. We know that the student loans are part of the problem with that, a huge part of the problem with that. But they're not necessary. We also pretty well know that for the vast majority of people, those are not necessary. There's enough grants, scholarships, and jobs out there that you can do it without the loans. A lot of people who want that university lifestyle, that university education, that life of privilege without ever going to work. And that's the problem we run into with the loans. Honestly, if you're going to do that student loan lifestyle game, you should just never, ever, ever stop going to college, because then you never have to pay as long as you're still enrolled. Woo, it's a game. It's just a game. The whole thing is just a game. But look at what they've done. They've got you programmed to take a side here and to actually have a blame on other people. If you want to go to college, it's all someone else's responsibility. Someone needs to make it free. Someone needs to fund it. Someone needs to give you a loan. Someone needs to give you grants. You can't work for it. Oh, no. The program is very firm on that. And if you are on the other side of the thing, then you are being programmed to blame and hate other people for having student loans or for having a problem with their student loans. You can consider them predatory. You can say, oh, you were a perfectly rational adult with no mental issues and you took this on willingly and knowingly. And, well, a lot of these people start this debt game at the age of 17. Technically, not an adult. Psychologically, all of this happens before the age of 25. Ooh, yeah, you're not an adult yet. Sorry, just your brain's not even done yet. And it's all cultural programming. You're being programmed to this. So there's a different program on your side. Of course, your side is perfect. There's no debt problems. No one ever pays outrageous interest. There's no None of the people saying this have a buy here, pay here car, right? Nope. None of it. All perfect credit. Everyone knows how to manage it. It's an excellent system. Excellent system. Not. But that's the thing. What I want you to realize is that there's a program here, and the program is division. The program is to divide you. If you're on the conservative right, fiscal responsibility side of things, you're being programmed to divide yourself from part of your country because everyone has to pay for their mistakes. It will hurt me emotionally if you don't pay for your mistakes. That's a really bad program to let into your head. It's not going to hurt you. It's not going to have any material effect on you. Either way. The best thing to do is to just realistically, unrealistically, the best thing to do is forgive all the debt and end the system. Boom. No more federal loans at all. No more federally backed loans. No more federally sponsored loans. No more federal involvement in student loans at all, period. Okay, that's the way to go with it. They've got it set up so that you can't even declare bankruptcy. There's the setup it's set up to make the people with the debt into debt slaves. There's no way to discharge it. There's no life circumstance where you can get out of it. Okay, and there are life circumstances where people need to get out of it. Now that's changed as politics have changed, and now it's part of the movement for the human right of free university indoctrination and lunches. It's not about education. Education, you can learn. You can get the equivalent of a master's degree education in anything you want on the web for free, with a little bit of research and a lot of YouTube. Okay, it's all out there. A lot of the colleges, like a lot of the universities, Harvard, for example, Stanford, they have free courses. You can do an entire freaking master's level degree program without the degree online. If it's about education, then we've already got that licked. It's not. It's about a certain kind of free ride, a certain kind of welfare, and a certain kind of ideological indoctrination. The academic thing, the academic world, is a specific societal space. It's not about what you're learning. And honestly, if what you're learning, this is part of the problem with the thing that people are giving out these student loans so people can learn to hate others. Because that's what a lot of these degrees are. These aren't science degrees or engineering degrees. These are degrees in how to hate other people, how to justify and come up with dialectic and come up with presuppositions that you can prove through word games, how to hate people, how to distance yourself from and dehumanize other people. It's the racism and the phobia and the discrimination and the exclusion, and that it's there. This whole thing is a mess, right? But as far as the student debt goes, because I don't think this is going to be resolved in the time it takes for this video to get published on my timeline, ask yourself if you're letting other people run your head. Okay? I get it. You're not going to want to let go of it. Other people deserve to pay for their mistakes. Let it go. Let it go. You sound crazy after a while. Let it go. Yeah, I know. They made their mistakes. They have the concert. They have the debt. Let it go. Whichever way this happens, whichever way this manufactured crisis gets resolved, you're not going to be happy. They're not going to be happy. No one's going to be happy. Just let it go. And realize that there's a program in there where they're trying to make you take a side and be divided over a stupid issue that has no real relevance. Okay? What the universities are teaching, what the universities are doing, there's some relevance there. But this whole thing about whether or not the McDonald's employee with the pink hair and 2 inclusivity degrees is can afford student loan payments, that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's not a big deal. Okay? It's going to either get resolved one way or the other. Whichever way it gets resolved is going to maximize the profits for any private companies that are involved in the system. You know it. I know it. Let it go. Can we at least maximize those profits without hurting people for once? Okay? Let it go. It's funny to watch, you know. You turn on that angry face, you're like, doesn't matter. Does not matter in the least. Okay? Much better things to think about. Much better things to spend your day on. But I want you to realize that, you know, if your main position on the student loan thing is either that other people owe you or that other people have to suffer for your attitude, your opinion, then you're not doing it right. Stay sideways.